Hey guys, we're here with Max Martzolf, left-handed pitcher from FAU. Max, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. Few things I wanted to talk about with you tonight, man. We're Premier Exposure Sports, which you're a part of. Just trying to really reach out and help kids out there and understand the recruiting process. And you were one of those guys that went through the process. But first thing I really want to talk about is you and FAU, man. You guys went in the Conference USA 35 and 23 this season.
Sir.
Yeah, 1911 in conference.
hmm
And Mr. Max Martzoff, you had a 5.91 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 2 wins, 2 losses. But the big thing was you had a 1.34 WHIP, which is awesome, man. As a freshman,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your season.
Uh, season had its ups and downs. Mainly through the beginning of the season, we really haven't clicked as a group yet. We're still getting to know a bunch of guys. But as season went on, we figured who were our key components to the team, and we figured each guy can click in a certain aspect of the game. And once we got into the more conference level play and end of the season towards tournament, we knew who we brought were our guys to eventually make a championship team. And unfortunately, we didn't do it this year, but in the long run, I could see it being in a couple years, maybe next year.
Yeah, I was fortunate to get out there and see some games. And, when you said you were basically what you're saying is they were, coaches are trying to find chemistry. They're putting guys in. They're trying to figure out what works, what's the best, chemistry for the team to be successful. And at the level you're playing at, there's no guarantees, correct?
Not at all. It's college baseball is very cutthroat. If you're not performing, you don't play.
Right. So it's all about performing on the field. I'm sure also academically being eligible in the classroom, doing what you need to do, and everything that goes along with that. So, yeah, everything is a grind. Just tell me about a little bit you came in as a freshman in the fall. What was that first fall like for you?
That It's intimidating because when you're in high school, you assume getting recruited by a D1 program, you feel like you're going to be top of the level. It's the complete opposite. When you get there, everyone's just as good as you, even better, and you have to earn your spot. Either with the physical conditioning or your play, or even being a teammate. You don't have to be the best player, but you have to be a very good team guy and willing to be positive to everyone on the team.
So it sounds like basically it's truly becomes a family. I mean, there's ups and
Yeah.
downs and people lifting guys up,
Oh,
And the other thing too is coming in, in the fall. A lot of these guys coming in, they think, oh, I was recruited. I'm going to be there in the fall. I made the team. That's not necessarily the case in a lot of programs. I mean, you come in the fall, you might not stay for the spring. Is that
right.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you got recruited, that doesn't mean you're going to stay there. It's going to happen to a lot of people, believe it or not.
Yep. So you battle through the fall and earn your spot and what's some I know you're the Conference USA, but a lot of guys don't know what teams are in Conference USA. Tulane, who are some of the teams that are in Conference USA that you guys compete against?
Uh, as of last year, Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech, Marshall, Rice, FIU, UAB. Uh, I'm missing. Oh, Western Kentucky.
Tulane's in there too, right?
Tulane is actually in the American or
Okay.
the
Did you
ASUN
play
conference.
them this year?
We will not be playing them this year, but
But did you play them this last year?
no, we did not.
Oh, okay, I thought you did. That was my bad. Okay.
When we go to the American the year after this year, so next year, and we will be in the same conferences.
Okay, that's where I was getting mixed up. But yeah, and or I was getting mixed up with Marshall because I know you guys played Marshall too. So, you know, the first time you stepped on the mound as a freshman, what was that experience like? Hey, Martzolf, you're coming out of the bullpen, right? Because you started out of the bullpen.
Yeah, my job was a late inning lefty reliever to keep the lead or keep it close for our closer. When I got out there for the first time, my heart was racing more than I've ever experienced. it's a completely different ball game going from high school or travel baseball to college level baseball, because these are all guys who compete at the highest level, and getting out there, it got me a little nervous, but once I stepped in and realized I'm doing what I'm very good at, it made me realize that this is just any other game, and I got to do what I have to do to keep doing that.
Yeah, and I think, and we'll talk a little bit about it, but parents are gonna and players are gonna say, well, what was Max's development through the years? And I've had you, on my team since you were 9 years old coming through.
Yeah.
And so we've experienced some big things coming through. So I mean, you've been in national championships, Elite 32 when you were 12. We won that. We've won. I mean, I was kind of teasing. I was going to tease you a little bit, and I was going to say, you know what, and you can't hardly see. I see. Yeah, you got that on. This is one too. You know what this ring is?
That's the Cal Ripken ring.
We won when we went up and won Cal Ripken. You got the national championship for the Elite 32 right there. And then you've got this one right here. You know what this ring is?
That's Cooperstown.
That's Cooperstown. One Cooperstown also. So, and I have found this one too. So, you got the Elite 32. But the thing is, throughout your career, you experienced a lot of success coming as a younger guy. And a lot of the guys that do get recruited are in organizations or have experienced a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take when you get to that level and you're not winning, 80%, 90% of the games, and you're not winning everything? How is that as an athlete to deal with?
Oh, it's tough knowing that you go from a very successful program to when you're young to going to a very high competitive program that, once again, they're very successful, but they got a lot of dogfights. It's not going to be a bunch of mercy rules. It's not going to be a bunch of cakewalk games. It's going to be very, very tough.
Right.
A very season.
Yeah, and what you're saying is, and you said it a little bit earlier, is the playing field levels out. Every guy's a dude at that level.
Right. Yeah.
Are they on that day? Are they off that day? And so it is a dogfight every day, and it's a dogfight to be on the field. It's a dogfight to win games. So those are fantastic points. So let's kind of talk about, like, when you were younger, coming through. I mean, you even played rec ball. You played rec ball. What were some of the memories and fun times that really stand out for you coming through from rec ball all the way, through? What's some things?
When I was younger, I had one game at ESPN, which you would probably know when we were on the Wildcats. We were playing Panama Mutiny, and at the time, it was number 1 versus number 2 in the country. And me and a teammate at the time, Jacob Miller, we found this lucky penny in the dugout. We kept swapping it back and forth in our back pockets. I put it in my back pocket. I hit a home run over center field. I give him the penny. He hits a home run in the same game. And I remember it because we kept passing the penny to each other. And when we got into the dugout, right before you put me in to close that game, Jacob walks up, gives me the penny. And I'll never forget that moment, because it was kind of inspiring to think that something as dumb as a little penny can make you feel like you have a superstition, or something that can give you a little bit more of an edge to have that.
Absolutely. And really what it is and what it boils down to in this game is confidence. And any way you can build your confidence. I mean, you see guys in the dugout these days being silly with things and, doing radar guns and with cups and everything. And it's really about having fun also. And so, a lot of people that are going through the recruiting process think that, they forget to have fun. So they go through high school and they're so worried about getting recruited that they're not taking the opportunity to enjoy the moment. And so everybody's recruiting process is different. Yours, fortunately for you, it happened pretty quickly. I remember you coming through, and Cop at the time was the pitching coach for FAU, and him and I were communicating a lot. And then there was communication going through myself, and then you, and and you really you did some research on some other schools and stuff, but you really felt like that was going to be the best place for you. And of course, Cop now is at Florida, and there's some some changes going on at FAU. There's a lot going on over there, but you know, everybody's recruiting process is different. And you know, friends. I mean, we got guys that played with our organization, have been a part of Premier Exposure Sports and the Met Scout teams back in the day and stuff. And every one of those guys' recruiting process was different. So, what would be some advice that you could give some of these high school guys as far as going through the recruiting process?
My best advice is not to rush anything. Some guys feel like just because a D1 program offers them, they got to instantly take it. The best thing to do is research the school and realize what you want to do if baseball doesn't become a career. You want to figure out what you're good at in school and make that your part of your major. I am fortunate enough to have a school that has both the major I intend to and the best possible outcome I can have for baseball. But yeah, no, I would say just don't rush in anything. Do your research, and if the school fits, then that's where you should go.
Yeah, and then as you know, I mean, there's guys that'll get recruited early, and they'll verbally commit to these schools, and that you were one of those guys. But we knew along the way from everything that was coming through that was a fit, and we knew that was going to happen for you. It wasn't guesswork. You were going there. It wasn't. There was never a doubt that you were going to go there. But when kids see that individual is committed early, they get anxious and they just want to find somewhere to be committed. So your advice is great advice. Everybody's process is different. One thing with Premier Exposure Sports is we have a platform where you can do all the research on the schools, make sure you get matched up, narrow things down, save your activities. So there's a lot that we offer with Premier Exposure Sports to assist the athletes in getting recruited. So I didn't know about that penny, Max. I must have forgot about that. I do have many memories coming through along the way, but one thing is, and you probably can vouch for this, at every level as you go through, those are great memories.
Oh yeah.
You'll never forget your youth. You'll never forget where you came from. All those experiences, traveling with your parents along the way and having fun and meeting people, and now running into a lot of those guys and playing against them in college at this point.
Yeah. Having those great memories as a kid realizes how much fun you can have playing baseball at any age.
Yeah.
Like nowadays you could have the same thing at 19. You can have the same thing when you're 10. It's all going to lead to great memories along the way. And I'm just glad and fortunate to have those memories to where I am now.
Yeah. And I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity coming through, and then, we still talk all the time and whatnot. There's some great guys that were on on those teams, and you got Braden Calise is at Louisville. You got some of these guys are all over the place. Chandler Marsh at University of Georgia, Luke at Holy Cross. Who else? What's some of the other dudes that are out there? They're all over. Patrick Ward's going to be joining you at FAU, who was with us for a long time. Yes. It's just really awesome to see all of you guys succeed. And there's guys, when you were mentioning earlier not to rush things, it's not necessarily that everybody wants to play at that D1 level, but the biggest key is to find that fit that matches for your abilities and for your academics, and enjoy the experience, because you said it earlier, eventually baseball is going to end. Right?
Some people it ends earlier, some people you could make a career out of it. It's just you got to know what you're going to do in case something does not work out.
Correct. And you just grind every day if you really want it, and you work, and things will work itself out in the end. So I truly believe that, and I see it every day with athletes. But it is a grind. It becomes a lifestyle, correct? When you get to college, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's hard to get out of that routine, waking up almost at dawn, running sprints in the fall, and going to class, going to get a quick lunch, going to practice, having lift right after practice, and then you got to bring back the student part of student athlete. Got to do class at night. It's a hard process, but once you get used to it, it's hard to get out of that system.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, you're pitching, but they let you, they encourage you to swing the bat this summer. I know you're playing in the summer league, and FAU is encouraging you to swing the bat. They've seen what you can do with the bat also. Of course, pitching is a priority always, but you may have opportunities to swing the bat this year. Now, if you do that, you're a dual player. You're going to have to do your pitching practices, and you have to do PFPs, and then you're all and all your pitching, and you're going to have to go to fielding practice and hitting practice.
Yeah, I had to do that last year, and it gets very tiring. But in the end, it's something I want to do. I want to be more than one position. I want to inspire people to be more than just one person. I want them to be more expandable, especially with something like baseball.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you're doing is awesome. I'm super proud of you as always. And one thing that we encourage and is to give back. I mean, you know, and that's something that you do when we hold camps. You guys come out there and you work with the younger kids. You tell them about the experiences you have, and not everybody's going to have the experiences that we had coming through, winning pretty much everything we entered with the guys we had, because we were stacked. I mean, we were absolutely stacked in those days. But at the end of the day, it's about. Oh, sorry, I got something popping up. But at the end of the day, man, enjoy your experiences. Parents, enjoy the experiences coming through with your kids. Those are memories you'll cherish forever, because like Max and I have said, it's going to end, and for everybody it ends at different times. But hey, man, I want to see you kick butt this next year. I know I'm expecting bigger things for a lot of you guys, and I'm sure you're going to do awesome. I can't wait to watch you play again. But before we go, anything else you want to add to it?
I think we covered it all. I hope everyone can experience the same kind of level I hope they can achieve. And
yeah. One thing before we do go, and I want to add in the recruiting stuff is, a lot of these guys just think they just can show up to these tournaments and they're going to get recruited. And it's much more than that, with getting the exposure and getting identified, with sending out emails and doing your research. And, how important is that, Max? Because
yeah, it's very important to take the first step to initiate a communication with a college coach, because you want them to see you. They're not just going to show up out of the blue and watch you. You got to inform them where you're playing, what time you're playing. If you're pitching or hitting or whatever you're doing that game, you got to inform the coaches of what you're doing so they can watch you and have a status report. And in case if you do good, they want to come back and reiterate that communication skill.
Absolutely. And, the thing we talk about and with the recruiting process is you want to get on that list, and you don't want to get scratched off that list. Social media, messing up on social media. There's so many things you can do to get eliminated from that list.
Social media is the enemy. I hope everyone hears this. It could ruin you.
Yep. So, but I appreciate your time, Max. Go kick some butt for FAU. Go Owls. And I like I said, we're rooting for you and wish you much success. And thanks for joining us with Premier Exposure Sports tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Appreciate you, Max. We'll see you, buddy.
Thank you.